Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I never thought I'd hear the words, "You don't belong to me," from my own wife. Not shouted, not during a fight. She said it calmly, like she was correcting a misunderstanding, like she was explaining something obvious that I'd somehow missed for years. My name is James. I'm 42. I've been married to Elizabeth for 11 years. We met in Manchester, back when everything still felt possible. She was sharp, ambitious, the kind of woman who filled a room without trying. I wasn't flashy. I worked logistics, steady hours, steady income, steady life. She once told me that was what she loved about me. "You're safe," she said. At the time, it felt like a compliment. For most of our marriage, I believe we were solid. Not perfect, but real. We had routines. Sunday groceries. Friday takeout. Holidays planned months ahead. We didn't post much online, didn't chase excitement. I thought that meant we were mature. Looking back, I see it differently now. Things started changing slowly. Elizabeth became distant in small, deniable ways. Her phone never left her hand. She laughed at messages she wouldn't explain. She started dressing differently for work drinks that happened more and more often. I noticed, but I didn't accuse. I trusted her. Or maybe I trusted the version of her I still wanted to believe in. I worked longer hours to compensate. Thinking maybe I'd let things slip, I booked weekends away. I asked how she was feeling. She always said the same thing. "I'm fine, James. You're overthinking." If this feels familiar to you, like this video so this story can reach the people who need to hear it. Some lessons don't find us until it's too late. The truth came out on a Tuesday evening. Nothing dramatic. No screaming. I came home early and found her sitting at the kitchen table, phone face down, hands folded like she'd rehearsed a moment. She didn't look guilty. She looked prepared. "I've been seeing someone," she said. The words didn't land right away. My brain stalled, like it needed confirmation that I'd heard her correctly. I asked how long. She said 6 months. I asked why. She shrugged, not defensively, casually. "I needed more," she said. "And before you say anything, no, this isn't about you. It's about me choosing what I want." I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I just asked one question. "Do you regret it?" That's when she looked at me differently, almost annoyed. "Why would I? You don't owe me, James. I don't belong to you." That sentence cut deeper than the affair itself, not because of pride, because of clarity. In that moment, I realized something painful. She hadn't cheated by accident. She had already left. I was just the last to know. Comment below if you believe cheating is a choice, not a mistake. I want to know where you stand. She packed a bag that night and said she needed space to figure things out. I didn't stop her. I didn't ask where she was going. I already knew. What surprised me wasn't her leaving. It was how quiet the house felt once she was gone. Not empty. Quiet. Like something heavy had finally been lifted. Over the next few days, I replayed everything. Every dismissed concern. Every time I'd accepted being second priority. I realized I'd been shrinking myself to keep the peace. And she'd mistaken my loyalty for weakness. Here's where it gets interesting. I didn't confront the other man. I didn't post quotes online. I didn't threaten anything. I did nothing. I simply adjusted my life to the reality she'd chosen. If you've ever stayed calm while someone expected you to break, type clarity in the comments. Some of us know exactly what that moment feels like. Elizabeth didn't expect that. She expected tears, anger, negotiation. What she didn't expect was silence. 3 days later, she texted, just one message. "Can we talk?" I stared at it for a long time before replying. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I knew whatever came next would change everything. When Elizabeth walked back into the house the following evening, she looked different. Not regretful yet, just unsettled, like someone who expected chaos and instead found still water. She sat across from me at the dining table, the same place she confessed days earlier. This time, her hands weren't steady. I didn't expect you to be this okay, she said. I told her I wasn't okay. I was clear. Calm doesn't mean unhurt. It means decided. That distinction seemed to throw her off. She explained that the other man wasn't what she imagined. That excitement fades when it's no longer secret. That freedom feels heavier when it comes without stability. I listened, not to fix anything, just to understand how quickly desire turns into confusion when consequences show up. She asked if we could try again. Not begged, suggested, like reopening a closed door was just a matter of timing. I asked her a simple question in return. If I hadn't stayed calm, would you be here right now? She didn't answer. She couldn't. That silence told me everything I needed to know. Regret isn't always about love. Sometimes it's about losing control over the situation you thought you'd mastered. If you were in my place, comment and tell me. Would you forgive or would you walk away? This is where opinions split. Elizabeth's tone shifted after that. Softer, careful. She talked about therapy, about rebuilding trust, about how she missed us. But something had changed in me. I wasn't angry. I just couldn't unsee the truth. She didn't miss me. She missed a version of life that made her feel secure while she explored elsewhere. I told her I wouldn't fight for someone who had to lose me to recognize my value. That was the moment her regrets surfaced fully, not dramatic, quiet. Her eyes filled, but her voice stayed measured. She finally understood that some doors close without slamming. She asked if I hated her. I said no. Hate requires attachment. I was already moving past that. That night, she left again. This time, not to test options. This time, because she knew there was nothing left to negotiate. A week passed. Then, two. She texted less. When she did, it was reflective, apologetic. Too late. Regret ages fast when there's nowhere to land. For those watching who've lived through something similar, type self-respect if you believe boundaries matter more than history. This conversation is bigger than one story. I filed for separation quietly. No announcements. No social media statements. Just paperwork in progress. Friends asked what happened. I told them the truth without embellishment. She made a choice. I made mine. Months later, I heard through mutual friends that she struggled. Not financially. Emotionally. The other relationship ended. She reached out one final time, not to reconcile, but to say she finally understood what she'd thrown away. I wished her well, and I meant it. Here's the part no one tells you. Walking away doesn't feel powerful in the moment. It feels empty. But that emptiness becomes space. Space to rebuild standards. Space to remember who you were before you accepted less than you deserved. Share your thoughts below and discuss. Is regret a sign of growth or just a fear of consequences? Different perspectives matter here. I don't hate Elizabeth. I don't resent her. I learned from her. She showed me that loyalty without boundaries invites disrespect, and that love without choice is just habit. She once told me I didn't belong to her. She was right. I never did. I belonged to myself. I just forgot for a while. If this story resonated with you, comment with your takeaway and subscribe. These stories exist so no one feels alone while choosing self-respect over familiarity.